This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
There is a small group of people with a very loud voice. They defame us. They'll say anything that they feel like they should be able to say to make us look like we have bad business practices, and it's just not the truth.
Sarasota County is trying to stop the sale of animals from puppy and kitten mills, but is an ordinance passed earlier this year overreaching. It would force Petland to stop selling commercially bred animals starting next month, a move owners say would force them to shut down. Now they are suing the county in a last-ditch effort. Tonight, we'll have the latest on the situation. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on Petland's legal battle coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. Last month, Floridians voted overwhelmingly to legalize medical marijuana, but tonight the city of Bradenton is following the county's lead and imposing a 6-month moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries. Bradenton City Council voted in favor of the moratorium despite the fact a dispensary company, Trulieve, has already purchased property within the city limits. Bradenton's mayor says time is needed to figure out how these businesses will fit into the community.
We want some time before people come in with flooding us and say, hey, we want to open this dispensary, we want to open that dispensary. We want to know what the rules are, what we implement, how we police it, how we zone it. Give us the time to do that.
State legislators will determine regulations for the access to medical marijuana during the next legislative session. Manatee County's commission approved its own 6-month moratorium yesterday. Teachers, bus drivers, and cafeteria workers across Sarasota County are giving the thumbs up to a new contract and a pay raise. The School Board and Teachers Association reached an agreement on a new contract. Tonight, the union voted in favor of it. The deal includes a retroactive 4% pay raise going back to July 1st. New teachers with a bachelor's degree will now start at $42,000 a year. The school board will vote on the deal next month. Now to Venice, where homeowners may be soon paying more for their fire services. The city is hiring a consultant to research options to pay the fire department's $4.6 million annual budget. Venice's city manager says the city is also planning for the next decade, including the costs of new equipment and maintenance.
To flatline the allocation of funding for big items like that over time, you need to build up a base of resources to accommodate those expenses.
The City Council will consider the consultant's recommendations before deciding on new fees for residents. Venice is also admitting to a paperwork error that could cost the cash-strapped city millions. Apparently, taxes were not collected on certain areas annexed into the city limits over the last several years. Officials are now exploring whether the revenue could be recovered. A Bradenton couple is being accused of a carjacking of an Uber driver, then leading deputies on a wild chase across Tampa Bay. The carjacking happened on 19th Avenue West in Bradenton and ended all the way in Pasco County, where the pursuit led to a crash. John Suggs and Michelle Badger are now in custody. Investigators say the two jumped into the Uber driver's vehicle and began choking and beating the driver. Both face charges. The Uber driver is recovering at Manatee Memorial Hospital. Florida lawmakers are once again considering repealing the state's no-fault automobile insurance laws. Right now, drivers are required to carry $10,000 in personal injury protection to help pay for medical expenses after accidents. State Senator Jeff Brandes of St. Petersburg says if the law is repealed, premiums could likely go down. He does want drivers to carry bodily injury liability coverage.
This proposal simply says, PIP as of 2020 will go away, and in the interim time, the legislature will have a conversation on what the next generation of car insurance is going to look like for the state. But I think we can do it better. I think we can do it smarter and save Floridians money.
The legislature will consider the bill next session. Good news for Suncoast sea turtles. It was another record year for nesting here on the Suncoast. Mote Marine's Sea Turtle Patrol says more than 4,500 nests were counted from Longboat Key south to Venice. That nearly doubles last year's record season of more than 2,400 nests. Nesting season typically ends in October. Moat attributes the success to conservation measures over the past 3 decades. And Bob, that is great news.
It is, despite the fact we had Hermine cause some big surf this past summer, with the Hermine moving up the west coast of Florida, eventually into the Big Bend area there. So some good news on that front, and some better news on our fog front. We're going to get fog again tonight. It looks like a pretty good chance of that happening, but it's going to be over by tomorrow night. As the cold front moves through, the dew point temperatures will start to drop a little bit more. It's been rather moist in terms of the atmosphere, and we'll see those lower dew points, and that means not as much chance for fog. Not tonight. We'll get the fog, but tomorrow night. The temperatures will stay pretty warm right through 11 o'clock into the upper 60s, and the wind and fog forecast calling for that fog to roll on shore and spread inland during the early morning hours on Thursday. But then notice what happens. Winds turn around pretty quickly to the north and west. As the cold front moves through, it will get in some drier air, and it looks as though that'll stick around through Thursday night. So no problems with fog tomorrow night. Some problems tonight, though. Temperatures right now into the 70s, 80s, and even some 60s now. 64 in Jacksonville, 73 in Orlando, and 75 now in Key West, 80 in Miami, and right near the coast, upper 60s to low 70s, and same inland now, too. Wauchula at 73 and Avon Park at 73. Braden here at 70. Northport the same, and Inglewood at 69 degrees, and Cortez at 70. The Gulf temperature now at 71, and we are anticipating low temperatures tonight to stay above seasonal averages. We'll have much more on our forecast now and let you know about this cold front and what it means for temperatures. On top of that, we'll take a look at the freezing temperatures that are occurring all across parts of the Great Lakes and eventually spreading to the northeast.
Old London town.
Yes, it seems like it. Fog conditions past 4 nights now.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, the goal is to shut down puppy and kitten mills, but is a Sarasota County ordinance going to put pet retailers out of business? We'll show you why Petland is taking the matter to court when we return.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Holiday fire hazards with the Sarasota County Fire Department, plus stunning Sarasota ballet costumes and Stottlemeyers in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
The official salon of ABC7.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
It's one of those issues that brings out the passion on all sides. The fact is, anything dealing with animals or pets does. One example that is coming to the head in just the next few weeks is Sarasota County's ban on retail sales of dogs and cats, which takes effect in late January. But Petland Sarasota is suing to turn the new ordinance over. ABC7's Ray Collins talked to both sides and has details of what is happening next.
It's not hard to find pet lovers in Sarasota County. Go down to the Bayfront, and they're everywhere. That's why it may be no surprise it was standing room only earlier this year when Sarasota County voted 3-2 to ban the retail sale of dogs and cats. So, what's the concern? Animal lovers say there are already enough pets in shelters, and they say many of the commercially sold dogs and cats come from substandard breeders who've been known to sell animals cheaply with pre-existing medical conditions.
This was a measure to help put an end to the puppy mills.
Donna Thompson's a Sarasota County zoning administrator. She says the county enacted the ordinance to guard against substandard breeders.
The issue stems from the puppy mills up north that are shipping puppies into the state.
But the owner of Petland Sarasota, Brad Parker, says they don't buy from unscrupulous puppy mills.
All right, so here we are at Danes Ridge Kennel.
Even sharing this video of one of their Midwest partners. And Parker's wife told county commissioners the ordinance could knock them out of business.
I'm begging you not to take that lightly and to choose to let us serve your community as we have to the best of our ability.
There is a small group of people with a very loud voice. They defame us. They'll say anything that they feel like they should be able to say to make us look like we have bad business practices, and it's just not the truth.
Since making these comments earlier this year, the Parkers have sued Sarasota County, and now their lawyers are doing the talking. Robert Robinson says, make no mistake, this ordinance could put a big dent in Petland's bottom line.
Anytime you tell someone they can't sell a product, or in this case, pets, absolutely, it certainly could. There are a number of other grounds in the lawsuit that we have filed against Sarasota County, most of which involve various claims under the Florida Constitution.
But the clock is ticking on Petland Sarasota, which has to comply with the county ordinance by January 27th, but the trial won't be over yet. Robinson's hoping he can get a stay put in place.
The judge will consider our motion for temporary injunction, which would keep the status quo of all the parties until such time as the court can conduct a full trial and evidentiary hearing concerning the matter.
And as for Sarasota County's reaction to the lawsuit, well, they're not talking.
I can't comment.
Okay. So for now, it's safe to say that Petland and Sarasota County are getting along like cats and dogs. In Sarasota, Ray Collins, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
When we return, we'll speak with a legal expert about this battle between public and private interests, as well as a dog trainer with nearly 4 decades of experience.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Welcome back. Should local jurisdictions ban the sale of commercially bred animals? Sarasota County isn't alone in its decision. Palm Beach County enacted its own ordinance in September. 48 Florida cities have the same rule as well. While Sarasota only has 2 pet retailers impacted, it essentially prevents any new retailers from coming into the area. Revisions were later made to the ordinance to allow for hobby breeders to continue selling pets from their homes. There are also exceptions allowing occasional sales from groomers and boarding kennels and vets' offices. Joining us for more on the ordinance is Mark Chambord, a canine good citizen evaluator for Canine Corral, and attorney Morgan Bentley. And we also want to know, we did ask the Petland Corporation to join us tonight, and they didn't. You know, when you hear the interviews with the owners of Petland in Ray's story, it's heartbreaking from their perspective because this is their livelihood, and the essential point that they're making is, isn't it possible that some of the companies or breeders that they get their animals from do a good job?
It is possible. I'm the type of person that if I were going to purchase a dog, which I've never done, I would want to pick up the phone and be able to call the breeder, and I think that that breeder should know about that dog personally. And if they don't, and I'm not able to visit, I think that there's probably something going on that I should know about and they're not telling me.
You were telling me before the show, the whole idea of pet stores really goes back to the 1950s. If you could explain briefly.
After World War II, the USDA was encouraging farmers to make a little bit more money by actually using pets, breeding pets, dogs specifically, for a cash crop. And then, of course, in 1952, you had that song that came out, How Much Is the Doggy in the Window? And that was all spurred on selling pets. And, you know, back then, I think that maybe things were a little bit done a little bit more up and up, but I think that just like with anything else, the commercial aspect came about. And I think, you know, from what I've seen televised and the puppy mill situations, I do truly believe that it's gotten to a point where we really need to take check.
Morgan, you see both sides of this issue because on one hand you are associated with groups who are in favor of the ordinance, but there are, as Ray pointed out in his story, some constitutional issues here.
There are, and you know, I do represent Sarasota Defensive Animals. That said, you know, I know Rob Robinson, who was in your piece earlier, and Tom Schultz, and I've met the Parkers on a number of occasions. They're fine people. That said, whenever you have an issue like this where you're taking away a portion of the market, you're going to have a constitutional challenge. I mean, that's just the way it is. When it was, you know, you may remember we used to have a mullet shop on Siesta Key. There was a gas station at the end of McClellan Park. Anytime you're dealing with removing something that was otherwise in the market legally, you're going to get a constitutional challenge. And that's really the argument that they're making. They're also making the argument that that there should be some kind of stay put in place because, you know, really the effect of it is inordinate on them in their view, and so that it should just be stayed until the whole thing is heard. You know, there's some counter arguments to that we may get into in a little bit.
But has this been litigated in any way? I mean, we pointed out that 48 Florida cities have a similar ordinance. So
it's been litigated to death, actually. So actually, it's not just Florida; it's all over the country. We're actually getting to a point now where there is some clarity to it. So early on in Arizona, in Chicago, out in California, up in New Jersey, in Sunrise, in Florida, there were a number of Florida cases, federal and state, constitutional, non-constitutional, all these issues were raised in various forms, and we eventually started to sort it out. And now we're at a point where we kind of know what the ordinance looks like. We kind of know what it's supposed to do to be upheld. This one meets all those tests. It has some issues about hobby breeders, some exemptions that are a little unique, but otherwise this ordinance has been upheld.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. When you're dealing with hobby breeders and the other ways of getting animals, what are the quality controls that are in place in those cases?
Well, there's local ordinances for the local breeders, and I have breeders that shop at my store. And one of the reasons I know that they're good breeders is based on what they tell me, how they qualify, and they buy very good food for their dogs, and they take a very passion in what they do. They want to know where their dog is going. They want to qualify the people that are going to take these puppies and buy these puppies from them. They're very passionate, and just like the people with the activists and the people that are against the sale of pets, you know, for me, it's the bottom line is, how are the pets treated? How are the mothers of all these puppies treated? It all comes to me, it all comes down to the dog.
Okay, there is so much more to discuss on this topic, but let's take a quick break. And when we return, we'll let you know if the fog that we have been seeing will continue in our weather forecast, so stay with us.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a Taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbybthebay.org.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Our discussion of the ban on commercially bred pet sales in Sarasota County continues in a moment. But right now, let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, Alan, you mentioned the fog. It's been foggy for the past 4 nights now, and that's a result of very high dew point temperatures and
relatively light winds. Now tonight, not as much of a chance of it forming, but it still will be around. This is from the Van Wezel webcam. Since 7 this morning, get a look at the time lapse. We look out over Sarasota Bay. Yeah, it was thick. We had advisories from the National Weather Service. It went away, it came back, and then right now skies are generally fair, but we are anticipating the possibility of more fog forming later on tonight. It may not be as thick as Ben Cooper got this photo, looking off toward the Ringling Bridge there, and also this one from Parrish, Florida. Paul sending that into pics at mysuncoast.com. Well, besides our fog problem, the cold problem is the big story nationally. We're talking bitterly cold temperatures all throughout the northern Rockies, the Plain States, as well as the upper Mississippi Valley. And now this is shifting eastward as expected. Toronto now at 18, 17 in Detroit, Cleveland at 22 degrees. You factor in the wind, and the wind chill factor is extremely low in places like Minneapolis. It feels like a minus 20 degrees there, minus 8 in Chicago, and minus 1 in Toronto. So again, Boston at 25 degrees. It's expected to move into the Boston area, as well as parts of Connecticut and Rhode Island over the next 24 hours. For us, we have a cold front, but it's not bringing down that Arctic air our way. There's a few showers around near Jacksonville, stretching over toward I-75 and Interstate 10 exchange there. Currently, we have clear skies, 69. The dew point temperature at 65 with south to southwest wind at 3. And as the temperatures continue to fall down into the mid-60s, that's when the fog will form. So a little later tonight than it was last night. The high was above average, 70, again, 77 degrees. Our normal high this time of year, 73, so well above that. Even with this cold front moving through tomorrow, we're not going to cool down to average temperatures. Will still be above average over the next couple of nights, and then even much more than that on Saturday and Sunday. No rainfall to report, and so far for the month, we're 0.2 of an inch above average. Statewide temperatures already down in the 60s, low 60s in places like Jacksonville, but still warm and balmy in Miami. 80 degrees there and 75 in Key West. Around town, upper 60s to low 70s from Northport to Venice to Inglewood, all at 69 degrees there in Venice, and Venice at 68, now 69 in Sarasota, 70 in Punta Gorda, and Sebring at 70 degrees. The forecast looks like this tomorrow. More sunshine, not much of a fog problem once the front moves through. And look for temperatures to stay into the mid-70s, so even above average tomorrow, despite the presence of this cooler and drier air. This particular forecast model is showing and suggesting fog rolling in late tonight, tomorrow morning, and then that front moves through, winds switch to the north, and the drier air settles in, which will clear us out, and looks like should be rather comfortable as far as temperatures go throughout the day. Well, for boaters, a little bit dicey out there. Winds will switch around to the northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Seas building 3 to 5 feet with a moderate chop. The water temperature now at 71 degrees. UV index at 9. Tides upcoming. High tide 11:41. The low tide will be at 8:18 tomorrow morning. Tonight, a dense fog advisory more than likely will be issued. 65 for a low. And then tomorrow, I'll look for the fog in the morning, just a little bit, and then sunshine throughout the day. High of 78. In the inland areas, mid-70s near the beaches. The extended forecast does call for a slight chance for a shower on Sunday, but not much. The rain chance is increasing just a little bit on Monday. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs? Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation.
We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you.
Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify.
Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy?
Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs.
Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
Kick off the season and find a unique holiday gift at the St. Petersburg Holiday of the Arts. Over 100 artists and thousands of works of contemporary art in photography, glass, sculpture, jewelry, and much more. The third annual St. Petersburg Holiday of the Arts. Saturday and Sunday, December 17 and 18th at South Straw Park in St. Petersburg. Bring your sense of discovery and appreciation of the beautiful at the St. Pete Holiday of the Arts. For more information, visit ParagonArtEvents.com.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the deadline for pet retailers in Sarasota County to stop selling commercially bred pets is set for January, but could a lawsuit to help save businesses such as Petland? Our guests tonight are Mark Shambura of K9 Corral and attorney Morgan Bentley. It's a tough subject, Mark, because a lot of people who may be in the market for a new pet this time of year, you know, the idyllic vision is of a puppy coming into the house. A lot of us would say, you know, the good thing to do would be to go to the shelter, but puppies are not always available there.
That's right. First of all, it's not a good time to get a puppy this time of year around Christmas.
Why?
Because people give them as presents, they're not prepared to have the dog, and then in February they're coming to me to have them trained because they turned into these 12-week monsters. So I usually say that this is not really a good time to pick a puppy. However, talking about the shelter, you know, my dogs have all been shelter dogs, or I've got my dogs from somebody that might have passed away, and you know, we have the power of the internet. I don't go on it a whole lot, but I know that people Google everything. And if you are in a position where you would like a specific breed, there are breed rescues out there. And not every rescue has issues. I think that, you know, I'm seeing a lot of issues with the dogs that are sold at pet stores. But not every rescue has a problem, a behavior problem, but it's a good excuse for a pet owner to say, oh, he's a rescue, rather than deal with the problem.
So, Morgan, you have situations like the Petland Sarasota where those owners basically showed you the video of where they purchased some of their dogs, and it seems like a good place. You've seen the horror stories that have been, you know, out there for years, and you know, I mean, what do you do? Because, you know, those stories about the bad puppy mills are not now done all the time. It's not, you know, something that people always think about and access.
Right, that's true, and I want to emphasize, you know, I'm sympathetic to the Parkers, but as in the bigger picture, when you say horrible, the puppy mill stories are horrible. They're not just bad; they're horrible. There are stories of there was a mill in Ohio where the amount of they had a burial spot for the dogs that died in the puppy mill, and it was in the thousands of pounds per month of dead puppies. Now imagine how many puppies it takes to get to 2,000 pounds of dead dog per month. So I want to emphasize this was not something that it was, you know, it wasn't a not well thought out issue. But having said that, to answer your question, there are a lot of ways, and picking up on what Mark just said, one of the unique things about our ordinance here that I give the commission credit for, Paul Caragiulo and Charlie Hines in particular were very focused on, let the market control this a little bit, because what happens with puppy mills is you don't see the puppy mill, you just see the puppy. So, you know, you don't get that connection, whereas with hobby breeders, which is what they built into this ordinance, the key is the buyer has to see where the puppy is bred, and the idea is if someone walks in and sees a bad situation, that kennel is not going to be there very long.
Well, let's dive into that. Specifically, saying again that I really wish that Petland could have provided a representative to be on this broadcast tonight. I know the Parkers were out of town, and they made their case at the commission meeting, and they are sincere in terms of what they say. But Mark, when you do plan to buy or purchase or get a puppy or a cat, what should a family be looking for?
Well, first of all, the energy level of the dog versus the energy level of the family. I would not recommend a senior citizen to get a puppy. I would recommend a senior citizen to get a dog that's a little bit older. But if they did get a puppy, one that they know when it's mature is going to be at an energy level of their household. The problem is people get dogs and it's a novelty for them, and then the novelty wears off, and then we have the issues with the training. They get sent back to the shelter, or they get been sent back to a shelter no matter where they come from. The thing with me is that I will train any dog no matter where it came from. And I've seen a lot of different things with store-bought and not store-bought.
And aside from the issues that Morgan was talking about, what do you think are the underlying issues involving what are called puppy mills in terms of the length of time the animal is with its mother and the ramifications on behavior?
Well, what I see is, first of all, I don't know when they're taken, but they're taken at a very young age. The mother does not have that time to give the puppy that adult correction that it needs. It's not able to socialize with its litter mates. So you have a dog that's either under-socialized, exhibiting a lot of fear, or sometimes the fear turns into aggression. I've had a couple dogs. I have a puppy right now that can't come to my facility because it's having digestive issues, and it was a dog that was aggressively attacking my house dogs that live there. It's a puppy, you know, and that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen everywhere else. The thing is that these dogs are overbred. The mothers are there, they never see the light of day. These dogs come in with health issues. I've had dogs from a pet store that have died from renal failure. So you really have to size up the family with the dog.
Morgan, let me ask you this. You know, you're saying that the industry, in terms of pet retailers, has evolved. Obviously, you know, some companies like Petco do not sell puppies like this anymore. Is it your hope that corporations, not the retailers or the franchisees, but the corporations change their business model and be a competitor to Petco, which sells food and supplies and so forth?
Yeah, exactly, and that really is the bigger model. I mean, you look at the industry, and that's the way it's going. It's almost as if they're two different industries that are still coexisting. Is the PetSmart, Petco, you know, that's one model, and then you have sort of breeders. And to pick up on what Mark was saying about the internet, your viewers are probably right now Googling, you know, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel rescues. It is astounding how specific these rescues are. And they collect dogs from all over the state that are in rescues at a particular breed. So it's no longer the thing where if you want a particular dog, you have to go to a pet store to get it. It's just not the case. And even if you want a locally bred dog, you can find it. Now, it may not be in Sarasota, it might be in Bradenton, but there are dozens of them out there. And they're all well maintained, and you can go see the dogs before they're, you know, while the mother is pregnant and even after they're born, and the whole works. So there's really no need for puppy mills anymore. I mean, it's just not, it's an anachronism that doesn't, it's sort of outlived its usefulness.
But obviously this is a business that family, that couple is depending upon, and the corporation is still out there, and obviously despite the fact that some states and some cities are outlawing it, you know, it's a corporation that's still making money.
You know, I was growing up, raised in Minnesota, where you had the family farm. And right now, if you go there, you have very small family farms there. The commercial farms have taken over, and they've gotten into big production. So I think what happens is that if it's commercial, you have less ability to control what's going on.
We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we will have final thoughts from our guests, so stay with us.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. A-N-D services.com.
And so the best that I can do is pray. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, let a gentleman sing. How nice a day.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
Welcome back. You are unlikely to find someone who supports puppy mills or kitten factories, but should local businesses be forced to close as a consequence of a crusade against commercial breeders? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. What's the answer? Yes or no?
Well, I'll take a stab at it. Unfortunately, that's what it's come to, and it's for your viewers who remember the net ban that went into effect years ago. It's the same kind of thing. You know, so many attempts to regulate, so many attempts to avoid this, so many attempts to kind of everyone to meet in the middle, but it never happened from the industry side. Not the Parkers. I mean, they're nice folks, but the big corporations, the national corporations that are puppy mills, because the Petland is not a puppy mill, it's a retail store. But the puppy mills resisted and resisted and resisted. And so you just get to this polarization point where you know, you have to do what you have to do. And that's what happened with the net ban, and that's what happened with puppy mills. It's the same thing.
Are you aware of any efforts among the puppy mills, for the lack of a better term, to organize and put in standards that would have avoided this from happening?
I don't. The thing is that the only way that this is going to get fixed is that the legislation has to monitor these commercial breeding houses. You know, I touched on it before. You know, 50s was a great time, but we smoked. We ate fast food. We learned from that. I think what we need to know, is this something that developed back then? I think we need to learn from the mistakes that we as a people have made. And I think we need to monitor the problem, and the problem is the raising of these puppies.
And Morgan, we only have a couple of seconds left, but you also have to keep an eye on, as we discussed, the smaller breeders that you know, breed dogs and sell them locally.
Yeah, and that's the tough one. And again, the commission did a great job of trying to accommodate that, and they did that by doing this sort of face-to-face buyer-to-seller exception for hobby breeders. And I'm real curious to see how that works, because that is a market-driven result or method that, if it works here, that could work all over the country, and that would be really interesting to have that. Sarasota County is the first county in Florida to adopt a puppy mill ordinance. So.
Okay. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Mark Shambura is a canine good citizen evaluator for Canine Corral, and Morgan Bentley is an attorney here in Sarasota with Bentley and Bruning, PA. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus a Florida murder for hire trial that grabbed national headlines has ended in a split jury. Find out what it means for the defendant accused of trying to have her husband killed. The details in our primetime headlines.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours. Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in just a minute, but right now let's get a final check on the weather from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harris. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. We're looking at high pressure slowly getting out of here. Right now it's situated just to basically the east of the state right now. This high pressure ridge will get bumped out as a result of this cold front, which is sliding down now. It's a rather weak cold front. It's not going to drop our temperatures all that much, but what it will do, it will stop this fog problem that we've been seeing over the last 4 nights now. It looks like, well, not so much tonight, but tomorrow night, a different story around town as a result of some drier air slipping in. 69 the temperature, fair skies. Currently at the Sarasota Brady Airport, we have a light wind south to southwest at 3 miles an hour. The forecast overnight, expect temperatures to stay above seasonal averages, which are basically in the low to mid 50s. So we are expecting above average temperatures, and current dew point temperatures across the state really haven't dropped all that much. It's 60 degrees in Pensacola, 62 in Jacksonville, 62 in Orlando, 65 in Sarasota. Still in the low 70s over Key West and Miami. Well, the hourly forecast tomorrow checks in like this. We'll see high temperatures go above average, even though a little weak front moves on through. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies anticipated throughout the day. And as far as some localized temperatures, all in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees now from Parrish to Braden Country Club to Southgate now at 69 degrees. And temperature at 70 in Northport, however, Rotunda at 69 and 69 in Inglewood. Well, the model forecast, this one in particular, showing the fog developing tonight and then dissipating a little bit quicker tomorrow as a result of some drier air sliding down from the north. Those winds will switch around more to a northerly direction, too. We've had basically very west to southwest wind, keeping that high dew point temperature up there. Well, satellite and radar picture not showing much rain out there. And again, with the presence of this front so close to us, it's going to create a little different fog scenario tonight. A little later in the fog starting up, and looks like not as much around as we've been seeing over the past couple of nights. Well, that Arctic air continues to spill southward. There's a dividing line right there. You can see it slicing through South Dakota all the way into southern Illinois and throughout Ohio. That cold, bitter air will continue to spill off basically to the east, not so much down to the south. We'll see this weak front move through and maybe some clouds in the morning, a few showers, but it quickly switches around to an east to southeasterly direction. That means back in the low 80s as early as Saturday afternoon and into Sunday. Look for a nice weekend ahead. Temperatures right now extremely cold. Chicago, Green Bay, and Detroit, all in the teens there. And 9, single digit in Rapid City and Billings, and 13 in Omaha. 45 now in Dallas and 59 in Houston. For boaters tomorrow, a bit of a fog, and then we'll see a bit breezier conditions. Seas running 3 to 5 feet with a moderate chop. The extended forecast does call for a chance for showers on Sunday, not much at 20%. A lot of outdoor activities planned over the weekend. looks to be okay. We'll be right back with some headlines coming up after this.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Holiday fire hazards with the Sarasota County Fire Department, plus stunning Sarasota ballet costumes and Stottlemeyers in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called 3-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Totoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
Flooring Depot has been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties for over 20 years with the best products and installation. Flooring Depot offers carpet, tile, hardwood, and more. Before you buy, give us a try. Stop by our showroom or visit us on the web at bestvaluecarpet.com.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. Do you have a Yahoo email account? If you do, your personal information can now be in the hands of hackers. The company announcing this evening data from more than 1 billion users have been breached. Yahoo says the information includes names, email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, and security question answers. Bank account information and credit card information is not believed to have been affected. No word on how this might impact the proposed $4.8 billion acquisition of Yahoo by Verizon. Yahoo was not among the group of representatives at the meeting today between President-elect Donald Trump and the tech executives at Trump Tower. Representatives from Silicon Valley companies met with Trump to discuss their role in the future of the nation. Some of those there today were not exactly fans of Trump during the campaign, and he knows it.
I want to add that I'm here to help you folks do well. And you're doing well right now, and I'm very honored by the bounce. They're all talking about the bounce, so right now everybody in the Zone has to like me at least a little bit.
Trump is also announcing former Texas Governor Rick Perry as his pick to head the Department of Energy. He is also offering the Interior Department to Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke. As expected, the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates today by 0.25%. Fed Chair Janet Yellen explained economic growth has picked up since the middle of the year, and they expect that the economy will continue to perform well. This is just the second time in a decade the Fed has raised rates. The first time was last December. The Fed slashed rates to 0 in 2008 in the middle of the financial crisis and kept it there during the Great Recession and beyond. Today's move could be the first of more, with the Fed hinting it could raise rates at a faster pace next year. Wall Street didn't respond well to the announcement. The Dow Jones expected to break 20,000 for the first time today. Instead, it fell by 119 points, and the Fed hinted that there could be more interest rates coming on tap for 2017. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 also ended the day with losses. Now to a follow-up on the murder trial of Dylan Roof, the self-declared white supremacist who confessed to killing 9 people in Charleston, South Carolina earlier last year. Earlier today, federal prosecutors rested their case. The defense is expected to finish calling witnesses this week. Court will be in recess for the holidays. The trial will resume on January 3rd. If convicted, Roof could face the death penalty. Now to an alleged murder-for-hire case in West Palm Beach. It involves a woman accused of hiring an undercover officer to kill her husband. Today, a hung jury forced the judge to declare a mistrial. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the details.
I must declare a mistrial at this time.
A mistrial in the murder-for-hire case of Dalia DiPolito, when after 9 hours of deliberations, the jury in West Palm Beach, Florida, came back split.
There were 3 votes for guilty and 3 votes for not guilty.
The state attorney now vowing to try yet again to prove DiPolito hired an undercover officer posing as a hitman in 2009 to kill her newlywed husband.
Already, I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
The prosecution argued the videos in this case speak for themselves, but the defense claimed this clip was staged by the Boynton Beach Police Department to impress the crew of the TV show Cops.
Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man, he's been killed.
DiPolito maintained she was just going along with what she believed was part of the show, as she told ABC's Amy Robach last December.
The tape was a show, it was a tape. That was the purpose of it.
You were acting in those tapes?
Yes.
In 2011, DiPolito was convicted of solicitation to commit first-degree murder, but that verdict was thrown out on appeal. Now the 34-year-old is preparing to be tried for a 3rd time.
What we're focusing on is how we can better bolster our message and get that out there in round 3.
And the state attorney says that trial will begin as soon as possible. Meanwhile, DiPolito is scheduled to be back in court in 3 weeks for a status check. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
It is unclear if Florida's tourism agency, Visit Florida, will be able to secure a proposed $76 million in state funding. The leader of Visit Florida announced today that it is no longer entering into contracts. Earlier this week, the House filed a lawsuit that detailed an expired Visit Florida contract with Miami rapper Pitbull. Visit Florida has continued to post record numbers this year, despite the hurricanes, the mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub, and the spread of the Zika virus. Florida suffered more Zika virus infections than any other state in the country this year. Tonight, we are learning more about how the virus affects expectant mothers. A new study of pregnant women with Zika finds 6% of those pregnancies resulted in birth defects. The rate is nearly twice as high for women infected early in pregnancy. All 442 women were infected outside the United States or by someone who got Zika in an outbreak area. Birth defects were seen in 21 babies and in 5 miscarriages, stillbirths, or abortions. Zika is spread primarily by mosquitoes. And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.